Hi everybody. So this week is the birthday of the Buddha here in Indonesia in the Far East, and I'd like to tell you a story from two of the big legends of the world, Buddha and Rumi, to inspire you to get out of your comfort zone. So first let's start with the Buddha. As you know, or you may know, what's the story of the Buddha? The Buddha was a prince who was living in a palace, and he had all the comforts of the world. He had the servants, he had the princesses, he had the maids, he had the food, he had the money, he had the wealth, he had the inheritance. He had it all laid out for him. His destiny was to become a prince or a king. His destiny was to just grow up, inherit from his father, and just rule wherever he was. But then one day he took a step that will change his life and the course of humanity as well, because he decided to embark on a quest for the truth. So he escaped from the palace. In a sense, that's the story of the Buddha in short. He escaped from the palace. He went on a quest for years, wandering around as a beggar, as an ascetic, sitting, taking food from people, without anything, without no property, without no possession, without no comfort. And one day, while he was of course he was doing that purposefully, because he was engaged in introspection and meditation and search for the truth. And one day he got the enlightenment and he became the Buddha. Now think about it a little bit. His destiny was to become a prince. How good is being a prince? It's really good, no? Many people would dream to be a prince, but he had to give up being a prince so that he become his higher self. And what he became is the Buddha, a million times more valuable to humanity than a prince. How many princes we have in the history? Thousands of princes have lived in the history, but how many Buddha you have? Only one. So the moral of the story is sometimes we need to quit something that is good and comfortable and have the courage to pursue a higher calling if we want to achieve your highest potential. That's the story of the Buddha. Let's talk now about another story, similar but from a different tradition, the story from the Rumi. Now, if you may know, Rumi was a scholar who inherited scholarship from his father. He was a religious teacher in a town called Konya in Turkey. His father was a very famous scholar and religious teacher at the university, teacher at the mosque, and very respected. And Rumi, when he grew up, he also learned all the books. He learned the theology, he learned religious sciences or religious theology and jurisprudence, as we say. And he became also a respected teacher. He had the students, he had the status, he also had a close relationship with the ruler of the area at that time. So again, he had it all. But then one day, he also met a very strange person called Shams at-Tabriz, who was a wandering old man, a man who would wander around the cities without possessions, without anything, and just looking and searching for the truth and living the ecstatic experience of life and God. And this person challenged Rumi to stop trying to get knowledge from the books and challenged Rumi to quit his preconceptions of what life is, his preconception of what religion is, his preconceptions of what a virtuous life is, and to have a glimpse with him about the experience of something different. And Rumi stepped with Shams, and he had a very close relation with him for years. And while he was doing that, he was criticized. Some people hated Shams because suddenly you have this respectful man who would wear formal clothes and walk in the market and everybody's like venerating. Suddenly this guy is disappearing with a wandering old man called Shams to do, nobody knows to do what, to talk about what, to discuss what. But then again, this is what allowed Rumi, who was a scholar, to become Jaladdudin Rumi, the greatest poet of divine love of all time. So again, that's the moral. Did he have something great? Obviously, he had an amazingly good and comfortable and respectable life. But he had to let this go. And he became something even way more important, even way more valuable. He became Rumi. How many scholars we have in history? Thousands of scholars have lived across all the cities. Thousands of religious teachers have lived and died, and we don't hear of them today. But Rumi, to this day, people are reading him. So the message is that sometimes we must let go of something that is good, something that we think is the best, what we inherited, the life that was prepared for us, whether it's a life of a prince or a life of being a scholar or whatever we inherited in our life. Maybe your parents prepared you to be a doctor or to be a lawyer or to be a certain way or to be in a certain city. Sometimes we need to let go of that in order to accept the higher calling and live and receive something even much bigger. So I hope this inspires you. If you're like thinking about, oh, shall I follow my heart? Shall I follow my call? There's something that I'm aspiring to, but I'm scared to lose what I have. I hope this inspires you that yes, you may go through a period of transition that may not be comfortable. You may lose some comfort, but only temporarily. But then you will get something way more valuable if you dare to quit your palace like the Buddha, or if you dare to follow the crazy enlightened man like Shams and to discover something even way bigger for you. So I hope the story from these two men that are part of the human heritage of humanity, Buddha and Rumi, inspires you to also quit your comfort zone and follow your calling and create a wonderful life for yourself as well. Thank you, everyone.